Hey guys, are you ready for another edition of the Rob Carson Show? I think you'd better be.
It's the Rob Carson Show. Are you ready to be podsmacked? Now, here's Rob Carson.
Hello everybody, welcome to the show. It is Casual Tuesday. Today is my day off, where I just get to entertain you, and that means a lot to me. So welcome to it, guys. Welcome to it. Glad to have you here. Much to get to on the show. Some politics, some pop culture and whatnot. We got some good news with the economy. Donald Trump's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame update. Facebook and other media platforms banning, what's his name, Alex Jones. He's a nutbag, but he shouldn't be banned. We've got a Democrat saying that the internet needs to be taken over by the government. Don Lemon goes off on Donald Trump. Rosie O'Donnell has a bizarre interview and leads singing a fabulous musical anti-Trump tribute in front of the White House. Stop it. Rahm Emanuel on gun violence, Cynthia Nixon on socialism, and so much more. So much more. But we're glad to have you here. Let's get started. American workers and small businesses across the United States are benefiting strongly from increased wages as the president clamps down on immigration, among other things. Trump economic model has been to tighten the labor market, partially through increased immigration enforcement, by asking businesses to hire Americans who've been marginalized from the workforce rather than imported of an underclass of cheap labor. Okay. Latest National Federation of Independent Business survey finds that small businesses are raising wages to retain and attract new workers in the workplace. All right. Reports of higher worker compensation increased 1 point from June to a net 32% of all firms. Blah, 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 blah. So some businesses are going to take it in the shorts because, you know, they made a living off of hiring cheap labor. You know, hiring illegals. We've seen them. You know, there were years ago that we actually enforced our borders, and then we just kind of let things go by the wayside, and some people took advantage of it. It's not fair for the workers who are here, who are naturalized citizens or who were born here. But it's really not fair to the illegals either. They're being taken advantage of. Oh, boy. We had some really fun stuff. Really fun stuff with regard to the economy, because there are some people who are wanting to basically say that Barack Obama is responsible for the economy. Barack Obama, he started it, okay? Barack Obama started this economy rolling, and Donald Trump is only benefiting from Barack Obama's spectacular economy. Now, of course, Barack Obama was the president for 8 years, and the GDP never rose above 1%, really. Average 1% for the entire 8 years. But somehow that translated into Donald Trump getting a 4.1% increase in the GDP last quarter. That's Barack Obama's doing, right? And it took 8 years, right? No, it didn't. This is a reflection of 1980 all over again. This is a reflection of lower taxes and lower regulation and Reagan-esque policies, and it kicked in after a bad administration. It is a repeat of 1980 all over again. Jimmy Carter left office, the interest rates were 20s. Barack Obama, he used interest rates to prop up a dead economy by reducing the cost to borrow money to zero and pumping money from the Fed into the stock market, making the rich richer and the poor poorer. He did. That's just the way it worked. Using the Fed to prop up a stagnant economy. That's Barack Obama's secret to success. Donald Trump cut taxes, has cut, I heard, as many as 20 regulations for every new one that has been proposed. If you know business, you know that works. If you don't know business, you're a dumbass. You don't understand it. If you disagree with these policies, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. Unless you're a government contractor. If you're a government contractor, you probably love the policies of Barack Obama. Because that was all they had. infrastructure, although the stimulus package wasn't spent on infrastructure, it was spent on votes. Keeping jobs, keeping support, keeping unions happy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Here is a little exchange. We're going to be Don Lemon heavy tonight, actually. Don Lemon and a guest on his show agreed that President Trump was lucky to inherit a good economy from President Obama. Here is the exchange, a panel featuring Charles Blow. Wasn't it Curtis Blow who did basketball? Okay, that's old, right? Yeah. So it's featuring Charles Blow, who works for the Politico, Steve Cortez, a former Trump campaign advisor, and Nee Carney, Politico's White House reporter. A little heavy on the left here, but here they are crediting Barack Obama with Donald Trump's economy. If I can get it to play. Here we go. And I apparently am having. There we go.
Hispanics and blacks are reacting.
Here we go.
Barack Obama's ways.
Here's the thing. I can't. How? Because he did not screw up the economy that Barack Obama created. That he deserves all of this praise. I'm just being honest. Imagine if he had inherited the economy that Barack Obama had inherited. Do you think that he would be? Do you think that he would be in this place that he is now? I don't think so. He should be happy that he inherited a good economy and just move on and take ownership of it and stop demonizing the former president and the former president's policies and say,
let's look at, I don't know, enrollment in food stamps. People out of the workforce. Is that something you want to inherit? Are you kidding me? For what, 49 million people on food stamps during Barack Obama's administration? That really?
Glad I inherited a great economy that was on the upswing, and we're going to keep it moving. That's the reality of it. It was an economy but that doesn't play well.
Now here they are. What they're doing is they're filibustering over the conservative host, or a pundit, I should say.
Great. No, it was great for the upper 1% of America.
Thank you.
And unfortunately, there aren't many black and brown people in that group. I want that to change, by the way.
Right? So the line for black
working class wages had stagnated.
Thank you.
Unemployment was going in that very same direction.
You're wrong.
The graph of that.
Yes.
It is a continuous line.
No.
Unemployment falling.
Here's the difference, Pookie, Don Lemon. The difference between a Ronald Reagan or a Donald Trump and by the way, the reason why Barack Obama, there was any success in the economy whatsoever was in spite of his policies, not because of his policies. Because American industry said, no, we're not going there. We will find another way. We will get around it. This is 1980 all over again, guys. I was a very young kid. I don't remember a whole lot about it, but I remember things changed dramatically. And every time that Reaganist policies are enacted, things get great. And by the way, Donald Trump's actually doing a better job than Ronald Reagan did. Ronald Reagan had 2 houses of Congress with Democrats in it. Donald Trump's doing better than Reagan. I know. That's a cardinal, a sin to say that somebody could be better than Ronald Reagan, and God bless Ronald Reagan. Yes. Donald Trump's doing better on the world stage and on the economic stage because Ronald Reagan had some hurdles, like 40 years of Democrat rule. Okay? Here's Joe Scarborough, who is blinded by... men do a lot of things when when they're getting some. And I know that's going to sound offended to some of you, but I mean offensive to some of you. But there are some men who they will change everything. They will forsake their families. They will forsake their beliefs for somebody in their life. And sometimes this could be a good thing. Sometimes with John Lennon, not such a good thing. Joe Scarborough is, sitting next to Mika Brzezinski, and he's getting some of that all the time, and that's all. And he is blinded by that. He used to fill in for Limbaugh. I remember he used to fill in for Rush, and now he's just a tool. He's just an effing tool. Here is Joe Scarborough basically saying that Donald Trump has inherited Barack Obama's economy.
To Morning Joe, it's Monday, August 6th. Still with us.
Again,
hi, honey. Man, did we have some crazy sex this weekend? Okay, back to you.
Things.
Where do you begin?
And you just have to say it.
Oh, God.
Things are going well out there. This isn't the greatest economy ever. This isn't close to being the greatest economy ever.
Yeah, so?
Barack Obama had more people getting jobs his last 16 or 18 months.
Maybe it's because people saw that he was ending his tenure in the White House, and they saw some hope. You know, the hope and change thing. Maybe they saw some hope that it was going to end.
Then have had jobs during Donald Trump's first 16 or 18 months.
God,
again,
such a tool.
It's not to say the economy's not doing well. It is. But all of these claims, and I'm not even talking to...
The economy was not growing at a 4.1%, or the GDP was not growing at a 4.1% rate when Barack Obama left office, you tool.
Trump supporters now. I'm talking to news reporters who I cannot believe actually will ask a question by saying, well, you know, yes, the economy is doing better than
it's just the two of them acting like, you know, nothing's going on. It's just...
ever done before. Not true.
No.
We're in a pretty extraordinary 6-7 year recovery right now.
6 or 7 years? Why does it take 6 or 7 years, you tool? It doesn't take 6 or 7 years. There was no recovery under Barack Obama. It declined. Are you kidding me? They passed Obamacare, and we had 29ers and 49ers. 29ers were people who couldn't work above 29 hours because that would require that you had to buy government health care for your employees, and you had 49ers, which were businesses that would have to require health care for their employees if they went over 50 employees. Are you out of your effing nut? Are you so blinded by a piece of you-know-what?
Recovery we can all be grateful for. And you know what? That's something that we Republicans now...
You're not a Republican. And if you are a Republican, you are the swamp. You are the swamp. If you are a Republican, you, sir, are the swamp. And you have sold your effing soul for whatever. Your position on MSNBC and Mika Brzezinski's rear end.
Conservative. We conservatives have always given credit where credit's...
You're not a conservative.
...due, and that's the small business owners, to people working hard. Unfortunately, in this economy...
Yeah. Small business owners, people who are working hard, had their taxes cut. Regulation was lightened on a lot of businesses. Yeah. Isn't that amazing what happens? Isn't that amazing what happens when taxes are cut and regulations in government are lessened? Joe Scarborough.
Making 2 or 3 jobs. But yeah, it's a strong economy. But Mika...
I'm working one job and this.
This is not an economy that Donald Trump gave us. This is an economy that's part of a 7-year ongoing recovery.
A 7-year ongoing recovery. Dear God, that's like a Gary Busey recovery. You know, in and out of rehab for 7 years. God, Joe Scarborough, you are I mean, honestly, wow. You are so blinded by, and I'm going to get heat for this. He is so blind by the piece, you know, that he's getting, he's willing to sell everything down the river. Every one of his beliefs, everything. He is so, whipped. Dear God in heaven. What a tool. What a collapse by someone who actually at one point in his life was a reasonable conservative. You're not a conservative, fool. You're not a conservative. You're not a conservative. Do I have to state the obvious? Dear God in heaven, if you think a 7-year recovery under Barack Obama, if you're willing to save that, you're not a conservative. I hate to be strident about this, but gosh darn it, Joe Scarborough, pull your head out of her ass. President Trump's Hollywood star will be removed. The first Hollywood star ever to be taken back. John Duran, the West Hollywood mayor, the West Hollywood City Council. Can you imagine those city council meetings? Dear God in heaven. John Duran announced that the council had passed a resolution that would ask the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce to remove the star. The agenda explained that some were calling the vote due to his disturbing treatment of women and other actions that do not meet the shared values of the city of West Hollywood, the region, state, and country. Hollywood Walk of Fame is a registered historic landmark. Once a star has been added to the walk, it is considered a part of the historic fabric of the Hollywood Walk of Fame. You know, like River Phoenix dying on the sidewalk from an OD. It's that historic fabric. Actually, he didn't die on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. He died up on Hollywood Boulevard. Because of this, we have removed a star from the walk, according to LaRod Gubler, Hollywood Chamber of Commerce president and CEO. Other figures like Bill Cosby, Kevin Spacey, Brett Ratner, all of whom were accused of sexual conduct, still have their stars. Whatever. You know, Hollywood is the biggest high school clique in the history of mankind. It really is. It's just a bunch of people blowing wind up each other's behinds. It's just childish. It's just... who'd want their star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? Isn't there a better Walk of Fame you'd like to be a part of? So Alex Jones was banned from, Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat. I don't know what the hell he was banned from. He's a nutbag. He's a nutbag douchebag. He makes a lot of money. Congratulations. If you sell your soul and you go down this route, you will find enough nutbags that will follow you, will be your disciples, and you'll make a lot of money. And he's done that. That said, I kind of hate to defend the guy because I don't like him. I never have. I don't like his style. YouTube has reportedly deleted InfoWars from their platform. Their website. Apple also removed the majority of InfoWars podcasts from the podcast directory. InfoWars editor Paul Joseph Watson tweeted about the permanent deletion of Alex Jones' YouTube channel, calling it a coordinated purge, and it was. These all happened on the same day. These purges all happened on the same day because there was some collaboration. There was collaboration involved here. This is an incremental destruction of conservative libertarian publishers from these social media platforms. And the only solution is, I believe, creating another social media platform where we do the same thing to liberals. Where we say, screw you. We are going to create our own platform of thought. If you are not going to give us a fair shake, if you are going to allow some publishers to say whatever they want on Facebook, then by God, we'll create another Facebook. Facebook has banned InfoWars. Here are some of the pages that they have not banned. Leftist pages with far more explicit glorification of violence, not to mention dehumanizing language towards Jews, Christians, and Americans in general. For instance, a page called Kill Trump. Dozens of global pages for the registered domestic terrorist group Antifa. It's Going Down is one such page from Antifa. Beyond featuring violent imagery of President Donald Trump being attacked, it includes training and information on attacking critical infrastructure targets. It's Going Down. Glorifies violence, but Facebook says that Alex Jones does that. Louis Farrakhan remains on the platform, has 1 million likes. He's a rabid anti-Semite. Young Turks, a progressive news outlet, remains despite its founder, whatever his name is, Cenk Uygur, or whatever the hell. He denies the Armenian Holocaust. New Black Panther Party, a black supremacist organization, which, according to the Southern Poverty Law Center, has encouraged violence against whites, Jews, and law enforcement officers. Also has several pages on the social network. Oh, other pages include the platform F White America, and I'm not going to say it. F White America, F the South, and Islam will rule the world remain. Unbelievable. This piece from, I guess this is Breitbart. It does not even require fresh transparency of Facebook's murky rules around hate speech and glorifying violence and dehumanizing language to recognize that if InfoWars does not belong on Facebook, neither do these pages, and that's true. It's really sad. It's really sad. I remember I signed up for Facebook, more than a decade ago. And it's become something different. I use it as a platform for this show, you know. It's terrific. It's a broadcast network, guys. I mean, we started off by just putting our feet on lawn chairs on a beach, sharing pictures of our children and whatnot. And then it became this platform, and they let it become this platform. And now they are deciding to rescind that promise by eliminating conservative publishers. Senate Democrats are circulating plans for a government takeover of the internet. Okay? Apparently a memo circulating among Democrats, purportedly as a way to get tough on Russian bots and fake news, sure, to save America. American trust in our institutions, democracy, free press, and markets suggests we need unprecedented and undemocratic government intervention into online press and markets, which is silencing the opposition. That's why Democrats are circulating this. It was penned by Senator Mark Warner from Virginia. I met this guy. He's a nice guy, but this is ridiculous. It was leaked by an unknown source to Axios. Starts out by noting that Russians have long spread disinformation, including when the Soviets tried to spread fake news, denigrating Martin Luther King. Whatever. Now, this paper that come out from Mark Warner and other Democrats suggests forcing social media platforms to authenticate and disclose the geographic origin of all user accounts or posts. Now, I want you to think about that real quick. I know. It's obvious to many of us. It's obvious to many of us that this would be terrifying. Some people don't understand. Let me repeat it. The paper from Mark Warner and other Democrats suggests forcing social media platforms to authenticate and disclose the geographic origin of all user accounts or posts, meaning that every post out there, including particularly conservative posts, could be traced to a geographical location, meaning your house, meaning your business, meaning wherever you are, so they can find you. They can find you and they can stop you. Unbelievable. Other proposals include more disclosure requirements for online political speech, more spending. This is where it becomes Democrat. More spending to counter supposed cybersecurity threats. More funding for the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission. Blah, 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 blah. Paper also suggests making it a rule that tech platforms above a certain size must turn over internal data and processes to independent public interest researchers so they can identify potential public health addiction effects, anti-competitive behavior, radicalization, scams, user-propagated misinformation, and harassment. Yeah. They want to know where you live. They want to know where you live, kids. They want to know where you live. Another story that's related, and I'm going to move on to other stuff because I got plenty of stuff to get to. Facebook has banned Republican congressional candidate Elizabeth Heng's campaign video about communist crimes that led her family to flee Cambodia. Okay. The video that she put that would be considered shocking or sensational by Facebook is the truth. That's it. Elizabeth Heng is running for California's 16th Congressional District. Her parents escaped the Khmer Rouge in the 1970s. By the way, for those who don't know, the Cambodian Civil War ended in 1975, killed 275,000 to 310 million people, displaced 2 million others from rural areas, and if you remember the movie The Killing Fields, this was like a microcosm of Nazism in Nazi Germany. Here's the ad, and I don't know if I'll play the entire thing. Here's the entire ad, or part of the ad, from Elizabeth Heng's campaign video that was banned from Facebook for being shocking, disrespectful, or sensational.
In Cambodia, under Pol Pot's Khmer Rouge.
Now, not nearly as shocking or sensational as your kid's average, or some kid's average video game.
Being young and single often meant a gruesome life and likely death. They approached my father, and in order to save his life, he said he was about to be married. They asked him to whom.
By the way, this is a great story. This is a great story.
He pointed to the prettiest girl that he saw, having never spoken to her before. The soldiers approached her, and she said yes. They got married the very next day.
Wow, we got to get rid of that shocking, disrespectful, and sensational content by banning her campaign ad.
41 years later, they're still the happiest couple I know. Great things can come from great adversity.
I like this woman.
Fresno's home, but America's booming economy never made it to our district. Empty buildings, homeless, desperate people.
Sounds like Democrat rule, kids.
Our congressional district is one of the very poorest in America. For 14 years, we've been represented in Congress by a nice man, Jim Costa. But
he's a Democrat.
So little has changed. Look around. This is what we can still expect to see 14 years from now, unless we plan for a better future.
Gotta ban this. I mean, this is such a shocking, disrespectful, and sensational ad. I mean, my God in heaven.
When we were young, my mother picked up coins off the floor at the mall to buy us a Happy Meal when we did well in school. They worked long, long hours at the local grocery store.
This is the American dream. Not stinking across the border. Okay? This is the American dream.
Store they still run. All that they made, they saved for our education.
Amazing.
Elizabeth is the hardest working student I have had in my 33-year teaching career. And she is the first.
When you get a teacher to be in your ad, that's pretty cool. I'd go with Mrs. Clausen. It was music. It was vocal music. But yeah, sure.
Sunnyside High School graduate to have earned her way into Stanford University.
Damn.
Studying at Stanford wasn't enough. Elizabeth was also elected student body president.
Nice.
Next came an MBA from Yale.
She played basketball. What? Oh, never mind. It was the MBA. Nothing.
She spent time on the staff of respected U.S. Congressman Ed Royce in Washington, learning why most of the time in D.C., nothing happens. Nothing. We've given Jim Costa 14 years to bring us a better life. Has it worked?
No,
in those same 14 years, Elizabeth Heng excelled in high school, graduated Stanford, was elected student body president there, got her MBA from Yale, learned what's wrong with D.C.
Okay, that I mean, that's neat. And listen, God bless her. I like her, but honestly, this is it's kind of like your resume for your first job. I'm just going to state the obvious. I like her. Don't get me wrong, but she graduated. This is your resume for your first job.
Helped her brother start a very successful business.
That's nice.
Then turned her attention toward making our lives better. Same 14 years, Which person is most likely to improve our future?
Okay, I get you.
I'm 33. I have the energy and drive.
Yeah, but yeah, okay, all right. You know, I like her. I like her. Probably need to build the resume a little bit. You're 33. Okay, anyway, but I digress. So I'm talking about Facebook banning her. They shouldn't have banned her. All right, they shouldn't have banned the ad. It wasn't offensive, whatever. Does she need to build her resume if she's going to lead people? Yeah. All right. Oh, God, Rosie O'Donnell. Dear Lord in heaven. She brought a bunch of, this massive protest. Must have been 100 people in front of the White House. She's such a nutbag. Jesus. Whoa. Actually, she's the opposite of a nutbag. Well, we won't get into that. Yeah. Rosie O'Donnell led a protest out in front of the White House today, I guess. Here she is. Here's the big protest featuring Broadway actors. Stop it! In front of the White House. Enjoy. Okay, they got to feign some sort of patriotism, even though they hate the country. You got to start that off there, But they're Broadway singers. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Whatever from Cats. And there's the guy, the chorus line from Chicago, Stop It! And then the surviving members of the cast of Rent. And the big sign that says treason. It's just Couple of extras from Beauty and the Beast. Wow, look at that. It honestly, that is what you would see at a high school choir concert. That's the crowd. Actually, that's much smaller than the crowd. The crowd at a high school choir concert at my son's school attracted 2,500 people. This pretty much just attracted the people singing. Woo, yeah, woo, yeah, you. Oh, here we are. Here we go. It's going to get crazy. What is this? Thought I had a little bit more. No, I guess that's about it. Okay. So there's the big protest in Washington, D.C. that Rosie O'Donnell apparently led. That was big. Broadway actors. Broadway actor. Did you see anybody famous there? I'm thinking not a lot of Broadway actors there. I'm thinking a lot of extras and background dancers. But yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You got to make a living. Rosie O'Donnell appeared on Chris Cuomo. Whoa, why did I? On his show. She would never appear on Chris Cuomo. Anyway, here Rosie O'Donnell is talking about, and this is kind of funny, and this if you have a memory at all, Rosie O'Donnell says that all of Trump's rallies are paid people. Okay, these massive rallies, 10,000 people, 15,000 people, 20,000 people showing up to see the president. Donald Trump apparently has enough money to pay all of them. And she's thinking that everybody who shows up to see Donald Trump is paid. I will refute this in one moment, but let's watch bat crap crazy Rosie O'Donnell on Chris Cuomo on his show. Yeah.
He's bad because he doesn't know how to inspire people or evoke that emotion in them of
what about his rallies?
Knowing. And first of all, people are paid, Chris. You know that. People were paid since...
Okay, real quick here. All of these anti-Frau rallies, the women's marching in Washington, D.C. after he was elected, you saw the Antifa protests, like I said. You saw the Occupy protests. All of these people were brought in wholesale by the busload. I was there in Washington, D.C. I saw it. They were brought in by unions. They were brought in by the busload. Second of all, Barack Obama did a speech in Berlin in 2007 when he was running for president. And it was proclaimed as to be some sort of magnificent speech that the German people would really be interested in. And what they didn't tell you was that there was free beer and a rock concert. And Barack Obama was the opening act. Okay? You want to talk about paying people, bussing people in? Are you out of your gosh damn mind, woman? Are you out of your woman? I'll leave that up to you. Trump campaign events where people were bussed in to disrupt them. Political protests where the Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and whatnot were people, union members were bussed in for these events. Give me an effing break. I am so sick of this. People go see Donald Trump because they connect with Donald Trump and he's doing a great job. That's why he's the president, you dipwad.
He went down on the escalator. He paid...
Who went down on the escalator? Never mind.
People to show up at those
but
rallies.
I don't
that
know that that's...
That was a presser. That was a guy coming down an escalator. Most of the people there were press. It wasn't a paid event. He didn't need supporters there. That was a closed, private event to press and the man coming down the escalator, and you're wrong. You are wrong. I would say go back to comedy, but you're not funny anymore.
I don't know that that's why he gets tens of thousands at the rallies. I think he...
Look at the look of disbelief on this wretched old woman's face. I mean, it really, dear God.
There's a lot of emotion for
people. He doesn't get tens of thousands.
Yeah, he does. You're absolutely wrong, Rosie. And unfortunately, not so many watch you. Look at that look on her face. Hello, I'm Rosie O'Donnell.
When did he get tens of thousands at the last rally? Tell me when.
No,
so you can find another uncomfortable
look. I
look.
think they only had 9,000 seats and there were people outside. But Rosie, I've seen them. He gets big groups of people who come out. He gives themes that resonate.
There you go. Does anybody have any corn on the cob? I could use a little corn on the cob. I'm going to use the lower teeth.
Whether they're positive or not, that's up to other people to decide.
That's a lot of money to pay. I mean, 10,000 people to come out. I mean, movie extras, I didn't do the movie extra thing. You can make $100 maybe in a day, but generally those crowds are more than, less than 100 people. You're not going to pay 10,000 people to come out and see it.
Maybe some are. I don't know. I can't. Paid? I don't have the facts that his crowds are bought
but you
off.
can
I don't have that.
You can look at... Well, you can look at all the requests for extras.
You can look at... You sure. Yeah. You know what? And I saw those on Craigslist. Nothing this big, hun.
To come and cheer and with signs for him. You can find those tangible pieces
find them. Find them, Pookie.
Evidence. Those are not real rallies.
Shut up. You're God, woman. You are so ugly. And I'm not saying that she is ugly physically. You leave that up to you. But she's an ugly person. She's a very ugly, unhappy person. When she did her stupid show, Rosie, and she had the Rosie magazine and all that, she just decided to quit it, and she left a lot of people in the lurch, and they lost their jobs. Rosie O'Donnell is an awful, unhappy, wretched, awful, I said awful again, person. She really is. Rosie O'Donnell sucks. She just does. Whatever. You can agree or disagree. I don't care. A little break here. I was going to say this, when I was in high school, I was a cheerleader. I was a cheerleader because I was a basketball manager, and I would, before the game, get everybody fired up to go out and win. And I saw these cute little girls on the sidelines, and then I saw these college male cheerleaders lifting women in the air and doing all this stuff. And I said, yeah, I'm going to try and be a cheerleader. What the hell? I'm going to do that. I mean, I was throwing these girls around. Also, I did strength training and all sorts of stuff. The NFL is doing, it's not really cheerleaders. They're male dancers. Probably a slightly more fabulous version of what I did. Here is apparently the Los Angeles Rams, the New Orleans Saints have made male cheerleaders members of their squads. Dancers Quentin Perron and Napoleon Ginnies have been preparing for the NFL season since they made the Rams cheerleading squad in March. One of them said, still can't believe I'm one of the first males in history to be a pro NFL cheerleader. Yeah, that's fine. Here's and this is fine. I was a cheerleader. I didn't do this though. That's not possible. That's pretty impressive. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sure how I could use that as a cheerleader, but let's make that a little bigger. There you go. Okay, that's cool. You can do that. Pretty flexible guy. And I'm not homophobic. Okay, I'll just say that right now. I'm not homophobic. No big deal. Do we need whatever? I guess we need boy dancers if we're going to have girl dancers. So I guess we'll have to have trans dancers next. And what are some of the other things that they call them? Trans, boy, girl. I don't know. There's a lot of things you could call them. Anyway, that's the big deal. Oh, Cynthia Nixon. What a just psychotic. Cynthia Nixon has no chance of winning. She's running for what? Democrat House and Congress in New York. She has no chance of winning. She was in Sex and the City, which I watched many, many episodes with my wife because she was there and she wanted to watch it. Cynthia Nixon doesn't have a problem with socialism because she doesn't understand history. Doesn't understand history. Here she is speaking at a rally, talking to her base, which are Sex and the City fans and socialists, about why you shouldn't fear socialism.
I am proud to be one of a small but growing number of candidates to identify as a...
If you talk loud enough, no matter what you say, you will get a reaction from the audience. Ladies and gentlemen, I want a 6 order of chicken strips and French fries. That's what I want for the American people, and that's what I will deliver, and you'll get a huge reaction.
Democratic socialist. The establishment is terrified of that word, socialism.
Yeah, do you know why the establishment is terrified of socialism? I'm going to give you a quick, kind of idea about history. I wrote down these 2 things earlier. Nazi. Okay, Nazi. National Socialist German Workers' Party. That's what Nazi was all about. So did you see that word in there? That's what is that? Socialist. I guess socialist is the word there that I'd kind of concern myself. All right, there. That's what I worry about. The USSR. That was the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union, and they killed 60 million people altogether. Their own people. Sent them to gulags. There was that Stalin guy. I don't know if you know anything about the Stalin guy. Whatever. It was a United Soviet Socialist Republic. Yeah. See, there's that word again there. Hold on. Where is it? That word right there. And then this word over here. And then this word over here. Yeah, it's socialist. This is why they're nervous about it. Because socialism killed a lot of people. Socialism has destroyed countries like Venezuela. I don't think I need to go any further. Yeah. That's why people are afraid of that word. You stupid POS actress from the show could be entertaining, but honestly, just a bunch of awful, wretched, over-sexualized harpies from hell. Kind of like The View. Oh, Black Lives Matter interrupted a wedding because they were ready to already convict a police officer. Okay. A group of Black Lives protesters crashed the wedding of a Sacramento police officer who shot Stephen Clark in March. Apparently, he was an unauthorized guy or an unarmed guy. The cop whose identity has not been confirmed by the police due to safety concerns was having his wedding August 5th at a vineyard outside of Sacramento. One of the groupsmen apparently got up and kicked the group out as they yelled, "You're a murderer." This is common. This is what's happening in the country. People are Black Lives Matter, Occupy, Antifa. They are basically confronting those who disagree with them. That's what's happening. That is what's happening. See, I think I might have a little bit of audio or video on that. Hold on one second. The moment that Black Lives Matter went after, yeah, here it is, at a wedding. I don't know if this was the wedding, the pre-wedding, the reception, whatever, but here's Black Lives Matter confronting a police officer before he had received due process.
Parents, I just wonder if you started planning your wedding before you killed Stephon Clark or after, and how you've been.
That looks like a black guy. I think that's a black guy.
Sleeping since March 18th, and I know
No, but that's a black guy. How could you be racist against a black guy?
it's supposed to be the happiest day of your life. He will not have that opportunity.
That is literally another black guy is kicking him out.
Hey guys, can you get up?
So we came here to drink wine and also just ask you how you're sleeping.
These are the most racist black guys ever, I guess. Right? I mean, really? Wow. So, wow, this is funny. These must be the most, obedient, black police officers ever to intentionally kill a black man if you're a black guy. I mean, you're brainwashed, right? Unbelievable. Really? Oh, this is funny. Gun control activist. There was a march on the NRA. Now, here's the funny thing, and this is in Washington, D.C., and a bunch of these anti-gun activists there, pro-gun control activists, show up outside the NRA facility, and I believe this was in Washington, D.C. The problem is that the facility had been abandoned for a while, so nobody was there. It was no longer the facility that they inhabited, so they stood out. They stood out in front of an empty building. But this is how crazy the anti-gun movement has become. A gun control activist who took part in the march on the NRA in front of a completely empty building called for a total ban on firearms and laughed at the fact that people still think it's okay to shoot home intruders. Now, you're in a house, and some people break into your house. Have you ever had your house invaded by somebody who's a stranger who wants to harm you? Nobody comes in and says, hey, listen, just wanted to break in here and steal your stuff. Just wanted to. No, generally it's, I want to break in here, steal your stuff, and you get in your way, I'm going to kill you. And you know what? I might rape your daughter and your wife while I'm at it. Just for S's and giggles. Here are some of the idiots at this anti-gun, this bat crap crazy march. Then we're going to hear from the governor of New York about his demonization of the NRA.
Yes, a gun ban is absolutely what's necessary. I think that we need to start from scratch with the whole gun issue. We have people who think that it's okay to kill an intruder into their house. People who think that it's okay to kill an intruder into their house.
Yeah. We heard
I
think it's okay. I think it's okay. If somebody gets into your house, there is something there that is bringing them there. Now, there are accidental things. There's some dumbass drunk walks into your house. But most of the people who come into your house to be in your house are there for some sort of violent purpose, whether that be robbery or assault. That's just the way it is. And if you are in the house, there is no telling what you are going to do by the homeowner. If you come into my house, I'm going to kill you. I will assess the situation. But if I consider you a threat to me or my family, I will kill you. I will kill you. That's just the way it is. Because there is a line of demarcation that exists when somebody comes into your home. That's just the way it is. And that will result in me doing whatever it takes to either end your occupation of my house or get you out of my house. Here's a little bit more from this bat crap crazy anti-NRA person.
Intruder in your house came before a judge, they would not get the death penalty. Wouldn't happen.
Generally, the intruder in the house isn't facing the judge directly and is a threat to the judge.
We need to have a whole different mindset reset.
No, we don't actually. We don't have to have an entire mindset. I would love to see what this person does if somebody breaks into their house. I really would love to see that.
Shame.
Oh, there's the shame chant. Shame. Shame on you. Really? Shame. Because you disagree with somebody, the other person needs to be shamed.
Shame.
Blah, 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 blah. Shame. Idiot. There they go. They're doing the filibustering.
A lot of people have been saying, quote unquote, ban fully.
Oh, listen to this guy. Listen to this. Now, this guy is actually baiting a protester into a nonsensical ban.
Fully semi-automatic guns. Do you believe in that?
I do. Just
no such thing as fully semi-automatic guns. Let's hear that again, please.
Automatic guns. Do you believe in that?
Hold on. Hold on. Here we go.
A lot of people have been saying, quote, fully semi-automatic guns. Do you believe in that?
I do. Just too fast. Why?
We need to ban fully automatic, semi-automatic, whatever the hell. That was nonsense. That was meant to bait somebody to show their ignorance. And obviously, there's a lot of it. Okay. Ooh, I've got something coming here you're going to like. The, oh my God, crap my pants video of the day, involving a guy who's on the bow of a boat and a great white shark. I think you're going to like that. I think you're going to like this. Oh, this is good. Philadelphia. A black doll was found hanging with the noose around its neck at a Philadelphia playground Thursday. The mayor of Philadelphia is a leftist. He's a radical leftist, Jim Kenney. Said, I am sickened by what took place at the Wakako playground. Although the investigation is still underway, I want to immediately condemn this despicable act. It demonstrates how far this country has fallen when people are inspired by the hateful rhetoric of our president. Well, unfortunately, the hateful rhetoric is coming from the left as conservatives are confronted in public places like Sarah Sanders. Okay? Kenny said that it was particularly disgraceful to make a sacrilege out of a sacred burial ground where thousands of African Americans were interred. The city will do everything in its power to bring the people responsible to justice for this despicable act. Here's the rest of the story, kids, and it's not what the radical leftist mayor of Philadelphia would make it.
Good evening. I'm Jessica Dean.
And I'm Yuki Washington. We have learned tonight that a group of young boys were responsible for hanging a black baby doll from a noose at a South Philadelphia park.
The disturbing discovery was made earlier today at Wickham.
It's got to be a group of white kids, right? I mean, a group of white kids did this because they're racist.
Playground in Queen Village. Reverend Mark Tyler of Mother Bethel AME Church posted this photo of the doll to social media.
So bad you couldn't even post the doll hanging from the tree.
Before it was taken down by firefighters.
They had to bring firefighters in to take down a doll from the tree. Somebody couldn't crawl up the tree and get the doll from the tree like the people who put the doll in the tree.
Police and city officials immediately began a hate crime investigation.
It's a hate crime.
But just hours ago, a group of teenagers came forward saying they did not realize the weight of their actions.
Two that took responsibility. One is white, one is black.
What? One is white and one is black? What? Could this just have been a stupid prank and not a massive racial incident in a city where 44% of the people who live there are black?
And had no understanding of the history of lynchings. And they just thought the doll was scary.
Thank you. I've said this a lot about hate crimes. Ignorance of history causes a repeat of it. And this is happening all the time.
It just speaks to how important education is, that we're not telling our racial history in this country. And as a result, young boys like that don't even know any better.
Well, thank you. And I've said this on campus. People don't realize they're young and stupid and they're not taught history. All right, it's about time for me to go. I want to share this video of a guy out on the end of a boat. It's gone viral. I think this happened on the East Coast. It might have been, I don't think it was, well, I'm not going to speculate. But imagine you're on the end of a boat and you are essentially bait for a shark. Watch this and try not to, defecate in your pants.
I think I see him there.
There we go. Watch this. Watch this.
Whoa! Holy crap! It's over out of the water.
Did you see that? Yes. Watch it again. Watch this. Here it goes. Ah! do the same thing, man. I would need a change of shorts. All right, it's time for me to go. I want to say thank you for watching me tonight, guys. If you would share this podcast with other people, also check out me on Facebook at Rob Carson Show, and on Twitter at Rob Carson. Have a glorious evening. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you again very soon.
Thanks for listening to The Rob Carson Show. Friend him on Facebook at Carson Show, on Twitter at Rob Carson, and on Instagram, I think Facebook and Twitter are enough for now.